Hi, my name is Alex, and I want to welcome you to 5E Leadership's Deep Dive podcast. Please welcome my co-host and partner, Jordan, to the mic. Jordan, what's our topic for today?
It's great to be back. So
Yeah.
today, we're going to be mechanics. We are getting under the hood.
Under the hood of what?
Literally under the hood of the leader's brain. We're going to talk about those autopilot settings we all have running in the background.
Cognitive biases.
Cognitive biases, yeah. And then we're going to look at how we can actually override them. We'll be digging into 5E Leadership's research on the science of the growth mindset and the mechanics of atomic habits to see if we can rewire the hardware.
I love that. A firmware update for the brain. But before we get into the heavy neuroscience, let's just orient ourselves. Where does this fit in the 5E universe?
Good question. As you know, everything we do at 5E Leadership, which was founded by Rusty Calloway, it all operates on the whole person leader approach.
Right.
And that approach is built on those three pillars: cognition, culture, and coaching.
Cognition, culture, coaching. The big three.
Exactly. And today, we are planting our flag firmly in that cognition pillar, how we think.
But it's important to remember they're not separate, right? They're not silos.
Not at all. Cognition about a leader actually thinks. It directly dictates the culture they build, and it impacts how effective their coaching is. You can have the best coaching model in the world.
But if your own thinking is skewed, you're coaching the wrong thing.
You're coaching the wrong problem entirely, so we're fixing the lens before we look at the picture.
Okay, let's start there. The problem you mentioned, autopilot. I think most leaders listening would say, I'm not on autopilot, I'm intentional.
Right. I strategize, I look at the data.
Exactly. So why does the research suggest we might be, well, deluding ourselves?
It all comes down to energy conservation. I mean, the brain is an incredible machine, but it's an energy hog.
A huge one, right?
Yeah.
Something like 2% of body mass, but 20% of the calories.
That's the one. So your brain is just biologically desperate to save calories, and to do that, it takes shortcuts.
And this is where we get into the work of Daniel Kahneman, thinking fast and slow.
The foundational work on this, and 5E Leadership's research really leans on Kahneman here. He basically says the brain has two modes of operation, System 1 and System 2.
Okay, so let's break that down. What's System 1?
System 1 is thinking fast. It's your gut, your intuition. It's emotional. It's automatic. If I ask you, what is 2 plus 2?
4. Didn't even think about it.
Exactly. The answer just appeared. That is System 1. And it's incredibly efficient. It's what lets you drive to work without remembering all the turns you made.
It's great for survival.
For survival, it's essential. You see a tiger, you run. You don't do a cost-benefit analysis. But because it's so fast and cheap on energy, it's where our biases live. It trades accuracy for speed.
Okay, so then what's System 2?
System 2 is the thinking slow. It is deliberate. It's logical, it's effortful, it's what you use when you're trying to solve, a complex problem like, what's 17 times 24?
I can feel my brain slowing down just hearing that. It actually feels like work.
That feeling of work, that's your brain literally burning more glucose. And because it burns so much energy, the brain is lazy. It wants to default back to System 1 whenever it can.
So when you're tired, stressed, running between meetings.
System 2 just shuts down to save power. And the autopilot takes over.
And that's when the bad decisions happen.
Precisely. And the research highlights a few specific biases that just wreak havoc in the workplace when we let System 1 run the show. Take recency bias.
Oh, this one's huge. That's where you judge everything based on what just happened.
Yes. In a performance review, it's a killer. A leader's System 1 looks for the easiest data to grab. And what's easiest to remember, the mistake your employee made last week.
Not the great project they finished 8 months ago.
Yeah.
That takes effort to recall.
Way too much effort. So you end up judging an entire year of work based on the last 2 weeks. It's efficient for your brain, but it's deeply unfair.
What's another one?
The halo and horn effect.
First impressions.
Exactly. We let one single trait color our entire perception of a person. If someone is always on time and dresses well, that's the Halo System 1 just assumes, oh, they must also be competent, smart, a good strategist.
Even if they have no idea what they're doing.
Right. And the reverse is the horn effect. Someone's desk is messy, so System 1 instantly labels them lazy, disorganized, unreliable. We fill in all these gaps based on one tiny data point.
That is so dangerous. You end up promoting people who just look the part.
It happens all the time. Then there's maybe the worst one for teams, the fundamental attribution error. It's a mouthful.
Break it down for us.
It's about how we explain mistakes. If I am late for a meeting, my System 1 brain says, oh, the traffic was awful, I blame the context.
Because you know your own intentions were good.
Exactly. But if you're late for the meeting, my system one ignores the contest and blames your character. He's disorganized. He doesn't respect my time.
We judge ourselves by our intentions, but we judge everyone else by their actions.
And that is absolutely corrosive to a team culture. Trust just evaporates. But here's the problem. You can't just turn off system one.
No, you'd be exhausted by 9 a.m. You need it.
You need it. So the goal isn't to eliminate our biology. It's to build systems to, mitigate it. And this is the bridge to the next piece of the puzzle. Mindsets.
Right, and we should be really clear here. While Rusty Calloway founded 5E, when we talk about mindsets, we're really standing on the shoulders of giants.
Absolutely. This is the groundbreaking research of Carol Dweck, and then neuroscientists like Andrew Huberman and Angela Duckworth build on that. What 5E does is apply these theories to the workplace.
So Dweck's work is the foundation, fixed versus growth mindset.
Exactly. A fixed mindset is the belief that your ability is static. It's a finite thing. You think, I'm just not a numbers person, or I'm not a natural leader.
And if you believe that, then struggling feels like a verdict. It proves you're dumb.
Correct. So you avoid challenges, you stick to what you know so you can keep looking smart. But a growth mindset, that's the belief that ability can be developed.
You shift.
It's a total shift. It changes the internal story from, I'm not good at this, to, I'm not good at this yet.
That little word, yet. It sounds so simple, almost like a slogan, but there's real biology happening there.
It's pure biology. It's neuroplasticity. Huberman's research is so clear on this. The brain is plastic. It changes until we die. The analogy of the mind as a muscle is very, very real.
And like a muscle, it only grows if you strain it.
The struggle is the growth. If you're not struggling, you're not learning. You're just walking the same well-worn path in your brain.
Okay, this brings up something from the research that I found fascinating. It's a trap that so many well-meaning leaders fall into. The praise trap.
Oh, this is a critical nuance from Dweck.
Yeah.
Leaders often give what's called identity praise. They say things like, you are so smart, or you are natural at this.
And it feels like a good thing. If my boss says I'm a genius, I'm happy.
You're happy for a moment, but I've just labeled your identity. Your identity is now the smart one. So what happens when you eventually hit a problem you can't solve?
My identity is under attack. I feel like a fraud. I feel stupid.
And to protect that identity as the smart one, you stop taking risks. You hide your mistakes. By praising your identity, I've accidentally made you risk-averse.
Wow. Okay, so what's the alternative? How should we be praising people?
The shift is to process praise. You praise the verbs, not the nouns. Instead of you're smart, you say, I love the strategy you used there. Or your persistence when that client was being difficult really paid off.
You're praising the things they actually controlled, their actions.
Yes, and you're telling their brain, if I want more of that positive reinforcement, all I have to do is apply more strategy and more effort. It reinforces the growth mindset.
Okay, so we're aware of the bug, the system one bias. We have the software upgrade, the growth mindset, but how do we install it? How do we make it stick when we're under pressure?
And that leads us right to James Clear and Atomic Habits. Because inspiration is great, but habits are what make it real. Clear argues that true change isn't about setting a goal like I want to lead better meetings. It's about changing your identity. It's about saying, I am the type of leader who empowers my team.
That can feel a little abstract, though. How do you make identity practical?
Through the mechanics of habit formation. And one of the most powerful tools for leaders is a concept called habit stacking.
How does that work?
You take a new behavior you want to do, that's a system 2, effortful thing, and you anchor it or stack it onto an existing automatic habit, a system 1 thing you already do.
Give me a real-world example.
Okay, say you want to build the habit of giving that process praise we just talked about. You could stack it onto your morning coffee routine. The rule would be, after I pour my morning coffee, the existing habit, I will send one email praising a specific effort by someone on my team, the new habit.
So eventually the smell of coffee itself becomes the trigger for the leadership behavior.
Exactly. Neurons that fire together, wire together. After a while, you don't even have to think about it. The coffee creates the urge to encourage. You've successfully hacked your own autopilot.
I love that. It's compound interest for your leadership. Just small 1% improvements.
That's all it is. But now we have to connect this back to the team. The whole person-leader approach isn't just about my own brain. How does my mindset affect my people?
This is where we get into the Pygmalion effect.
Yes, and this is so profound. The research from Robert Rosenthal shows that a leader's expectations act as a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Meaning, if I think you're a high performer, you actually become one.
Basically, yes. If you truly believe a team member is high potential, even if it's based on nothing, you unconsciously treat them better. You give them more eye contact, more patience, more challenging assignments, better feedback.
And because you treat them that way, they feel supported, they take more risks, and their performance actually goes up.
It goes up. And the reverse, the golem effect, is just as powerful. If you label someone a low performer, you watch them more closely, you give them less autonomy, you interpret their mistakes as character flaws, the fundamental attribution error again.
And they feel that lack of trust, they shrink, and their performance drops. You created the very outcome you expected.
You did. It's a heavy responsibility. The 5E takeaway from this is simple, but it's not easy.
What is it?
Treat everyone as a learner. Everyone is your #1 employee. You have to consciously choose to see the potential in every single person.
This feels like the perfect moment to pull in the 5E framework. How do we use engage, empathy, equip, empower, and encourage to actually do all this?
Let's use it as our toolkit. First, engage. This is pure cognition. To beat bias, you have to engage with belief. You use that Pygmalion effect on purpose for good.
You start by speaking vision into them.
Yes. You say, I see this potential in you, before they might even see it in themselves. You're signaling safety to their brain. I'm on your side.
Okay, then empathy. That's culture.
Right. Empathy is about diagnosing the mindset. Instead of seeing a struggle and judging it as laziness, you get curious. You ask, what's the story you're telling yourself about this project? You're trying to see if they're stuck in a fixed mindset.
You're finding the root cause. Next is equip, which is coaching.
Equip is where we go beyond just saying, try harder. That's useless advice. You equip them with the tools to struggle well. Maybe it's a grid connecting their goal to a purpose and a daily habit. You teach them how to practice.
You're giving them a strategy, not just cheerleading.
Yes. And then also in coaching, you empower them. This is key. To build a growth mindset in someone else, you must let them struggle. If you swoop in and save them every time,
You're sending a message that you don't actually believe they can do it.
you're confirming their fixed mindset. You have to coach them through the struggle, not do it for them. That's when their brain is literally building new connections.
And finally, encourage. Back to the culture pillar.
Encourage is the fuel for the whole loop. And remembering, Dweck, this is where we praise the struggle, the effort, the growth, not just the final win. When you do that, you're giving their brain a shot of dopamine that reinforces the identity of, I am a learner.
It's a full system. Engage with belief, empathize to find the block, equip with a strategy, empower them to struggle, and encourage the growth itself.
And that's the whole person leader approach in action, taking this complex neuroscience and making it operational through a simple framework.
So really, the message for everyone listening is that you are not stuck with your default settings. You can rewrite the code.
Absolutely. The goal is to move from the autopilot of cognitive bias, that's system 1, to the intentionality of the growth mindset and using atomic habits to make that the new normal.
We always end with a challenge. What's the call to action for this week?
I've got a 2-part challenge. First, I want you to do a not yet audit. For the next week, anytime you hear yourself or someone on your team say, I can't do this or this isn't working, I want you to physically add the word yet to the end of the sentence.
I can't do this yet. I love that. What's part 2?
Part 2 is the praise shift. For 1 week, just try to stop praising intelligence. No more, you're a genius or you're a natural. Instead, praise a specific strategy or a specific effort. I love how you pivoted when that first plan failed. Reinforce the process, not the person.
2 small habits that could rewire an entire team's culture. This has been a fantastic look under the hood. Thank you.
My pleasure. It's all about making the complex actionable.
And thank you all for listening to 5E Leadership's Deep Dive podcast. Let's keep growing.